And welcome to the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University. Tonight, it's the Storm Report, episode 17 for February 14th, 2022. Ed Cole, it is our Valentine's Day edition on the Storm Report, my friend.
Mr. Derryberry, good evening. Happy Valentine's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you.
Good evening to you as well. And it is it's a Valentine's Day festive event here on campus. And let's just get to the meat and potatoes of the program, right?
Okay.
We're going to talk to head coach Jeff Rutter. He'll be with us here momentarily. We'll talk a little men's basketball for the number 7 team in the nation. They continue to roll 9 straight, 26-3. A lot of positives to talk about there with Coach Rutter. And also, we'll wait and see. But it's a lot of activity going on this busy Monday. But we're chasing down Bryce Davis from Deer Valley High School, as well as his way back when, one-time teammate KeVaughn Williams. Both those gentlemen from Deer Valley High School, they played for the great Jed Dunn. We'll talk with those players. Hopefully they'll make it here. And we'll also talk a little men's volleyball with first-year head coach Trent Bruns, all on the program. And a lot going on around campus, a ton, right?
As it always is.
Beach Volleyball picked up a victory. Number 10 in the NAIA ranking. They got their first 2 wins over the weekend against LPU and HIU, so starting off strong in the GSAC conference. Beach Volleyball, did you know it was on campus? They play right up here at Victory Lane. Great facilities over there. And another program that just keeps on buzzing along, and they're having success.
That's great. Every Firestorm program is just clicking on all cylinders. And as you mentioned, Kev, in the pre-production meeting, all this GSAC, all these teams they face, they're pretty much nationally ranked. So every game in the GSAC is always a big contest.
No question about it. The Golden State Athletic Conference always presents the best challenges academically, athletically, all across the board. It is. I'm kind of. I wouldn't say a homer to it, but I definitely boast about the GSAC and the fact that it is arguably one of the toughest conferences that is going right now, and they continue to have a lot of success. Elsewhere, men's tennis, they went 2-0 last week, recording wins over NC2A D2 teams. They beat Colorado Mesa and Western New Mexico, so a great start for Phil Carlisle's group.
Absolutely. Good for him.
No question about it. We mentioned basketball, we'll get to that in a second. Track and field, they were at the Mesa Indoor Invitational, and I just encourage you to go to the website and check out all the results there. Some fantastic performances for our ACU student athletes. And then women's golf, our last one here, had a big commitment for Coach Parker, and that's a tease. We're going to work on that. We're going to share with you who that commitment is before we close out today. But it is Valentine's Day, Ed, so before we get to Coach Rutter, I wanted to point out a couple things. It's a special day. It could be romantic in many cases. It could be anything you want it to be in 2022, let's be honest. But here's some facts for you, okay? This is from my good friends at Wikipedia. This is what the people, our global viewing audience today, this is what they're clamoring for right now, Ed, is they want some Valentine's Day knowledge, and we're going to give it to you here in small doses. Valentine's Day, also called St. Valentine's Day, or the Feast of St. Valentine. It is celebrated annually on February 14th. It originated as a Christian feast day honoring one or two nearly early Christian martyrs named St. Valentine, and through later folk traditions has become a significant cultural, religious, and commercial celebration of romance and love in many regions of the world. I think the last sentence there, commercial celebration, is key to the knowledge point here, and we're going to wrap you up with this.
And the thing is, Kevin, I committed to that commercial commitment to Valentine's Day today, as I'm sure you did as well.
Yes, it's always going to be a part of it, right? So in the United States, about 190 million Valentine's Day cards are sent out each year, not including the millions of cards that are at grade schools and other smaller learning institutions. But it is, some might say, has become a business, Ed. And if you can believe that, Valentine's Day is a major source of economic activity. Imagine that.
Yeah.
With a total expenditure numbers back to 2017, so I don't have your 2022 numbers, but how about $18.2 billion of revenue for Valentine's Day, or $136 a person? again, back in 2017. That's probably the right scale, if you will, whether you're starting off with roses or chocolates or
dinner.
A nice meal out.
Dinner and a movie.
Little ambiance. Absolutely. A little recreation. That, by the way, that $136 is an increase from the $108 per person in 2010. So you just go back over it. It is a major over commercial. Well, here's the best part about it. So how many people are celebrating Valentine's Day? It's declined steadily. These are facts here. From their survey results, they found that 3 primary reasons for the decline: over commercialization of the holiday, not having a significant other, and then lastly, not being interested in celebrating it. That's where we get. That's Valentine's Day. So,
but still, $18 billion.
18.
That's still a thriving business.
That something's working in the greeting cards business or something of that nature.
For me, $136. That's a drop in the bucket compared to what I spend on my wife for Valentine's Day to stay out of the doghouse and keep her happy. Yes.
Simplify things. So anyway, let's talk a little round ball. Let's talk with head coach Jeff Rutter right here on the Valentine's Day edition. It's the Storm Report live from the Tower Grill on Arizona Christian University's gorgeous campus. We're going to take a quick break and we have a conversation with the head coach of the men's basketball program, Jeff Rutter, straight ahead. Welcome back inside the Tower Grill. I'm Kevin Derryberry. That's Ed Cole, my broadcast partner. And joining us, the man in the middle, is the head coach of ACU basketball, Jeff Rutter. Good evening, Coach. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Valentine's Day special, and we'll get right to the hard stuff. If you can go back to the days, do you remember your favorite slow song that maybe you saw your wife across the gym floor back in grade school and you said, you know what, I remember that tune. I'll help you out. I'm going to go with Journey, like Open Arms or Faithfully, something like that. That was going to be my tune.
That would be in my
it's a good song.
In my playlist in grade school, if I had a playlist,
If you had one. It's going back. We're going to pose that question to the fellas, too, because we got to, just weave in a little red here today. Of course. Firestorm red. But how about the men's basketball team? You guys are 50-6 in your last 56. And then you go back 4 years, 123, 100 wins and 23 losses your last almost four seasons, Coach. You guys are on a run right now. Congratulations on the success. And what do you like about your basketball team currently?
It's been a fun group. We've improved pretty consistently throughout the whole year. You can almost look at every game we've played, whether it's Hope in November to Hope in January, different team. Menlo a month ago to Menlo yesterday, we're a different team. So we've just challenged the guys to keep working and keep improving and keep trying to get a little bit better at some of those little details. And I think as you see some of our games throughout the year, we've been in a pretty steady climb.
You and I talked at the end of the Menlo victory, and it was about the depth of your program and just the fact that we've got so many guys that could start at other programs right now, but you go 10 to 14 deep, and everybody's making a contribution when you call them on them.
Yeah, that's definitely been our strength this year. Not a big drop. We got a very good experienced group of starters, but not a big drop off when you go to the bench. And there's a couple guys that aren't getting to play much right now. They had some injuries, and just getting them back in the rotation has been challenging with being in the full swing of GSAC. But they're a Darius Goudreau, a Pat Fisher, like they're starter quality guys.
Absolutely.
And have played major minutes for us and guys we trust in big games, and just haven't got the opportunity yet. But that's definitely been a strength of ours this year.
Coach, your defense has really ratcheted it up during this 9-game winning streak, especially over William Jessup. You hold the number 4 team in the country here to 63 points. Menlo the other day to 57. What are you liking about your defense so far as the young men just continue to lock in, and they're just laser focused on stopping the opposition?
Yeah, we got guys that care about defense, that understand that that's what's going to win or lose a game for us. Then the offense will just kind of pile on after that. So I think that's the first thing, is guys that are committed. But then we've got guys that are gifted at it too. You know, you got an AJ and a Micah and a Dennis Flowers starting that can apply good pressure, not really foul guys, and not really protect the areas we want to protect. So that's pretty unique to have guys that can do that, and to have 3 of them that can do that is makes us, I think, a pretty special defensive team. And then you got, KeVaughn and Dom and Paul and Pat and guys off the bench that there's really not a big drop off in that area that can they care about it. They're committed to getting stops, and they're gifted at doing some of the things we ask them to do.
Are you impressed when you look at the kids in the huddle and you just kind of see? Can you see as the game goes on, they kind of change their demeanor, and you can see in their eyes they're like, okay, as it goes on, we know we've got to do this. We've got to get these defensive stops. We've got to do this and that to get these victories. Can you see them changing as the games go on?
Yeah. I can tell it in practice. Like, even we practiced today just a few hours ago, and one group was taking it to the other group, and there was just a desire in a mundane Monday practice in middle of February to get stops and turn it around, and guys getting on each other in a positive way, and that's been that leadership has been a strength of ours. So many guys, Robbie and AJ, Xander, guys that have been there and got a bunch of wins under their belt, and holding each other accountable to get stops. That's been great. I think the last couple games specifically, what's been real encouraging are things we talked about in a timeout or in a huddle or even at halftime that we wanted to tweak defensively. They really went out and did it to a real high level. So that's always really fun, like when they're actually listening to us and go out and do it, do the best they can of what we're telling them to do, and they get it and understand it. And so we've really done a nice job of that, I think, particularly in the last week or so, just really stepping up in that area.
Coach, I see, I certainly appreciate, it's encouraging when they're responding to your coaching, right, from top to bottom. That's always fantastic.
That always helps, yeah.
When I see the home games, I truly see a team that comes into the gym prepared, and it doesn't matter who's on the floor, whether you're starting or you're coming off the bench as part of that stunt team. All the players are coming on. They're ready to go. They're ready for their role. Their role could change, but they're still ready to play and come in and make a contribution. But it goes back to the mantra, and that's tough, smart, and unselfish. And I think we see that on a nightly basis.
Yeah, and the first step of that is recruit guys that embody that, right? And then emphasize that, and then try to grow guys in those areas. And I think we've done a nice job of that. I think I mentioned it last time I was on here, but one of the real encouraging signs for me, we were at Loyola Marymount, played well, held a lead for a good chunk of the game, and then gave it away in the last few minutes. But there was genuine disappointment, not hey, we hung with the D1, we were close, and pride. There's a genuine disappointment we didn't win the game. Like, they went in there, and guys like AJ and Rutter, like, they expected to win the game and beat them. Where I think many on the outside would say, oh, wow, that's great, you were even close.
Right.
So these guys expect to win and compete, and they get pretty ticked off when when we don't play well, and have a hunger and desire to get to improve. And I think that's been evident in our climb throughout the year.
And, Coach, who would think that after the end of the game, we now have to close off the gym because our guys want to come back in. After the game, they just routed Menlo 85-57, and there's 2 or 3 guys that are on the court getting in free throws, getting in some more shots in. Angelo's one of those guys that he strives to play that perfect game, and we know how difficult that is, but he certainly carries a lot of weight. He does a lot of things for this basketball program. He leads by example, but they're tireless when it comes to the work ethic.
Yeah, and that's always a good sign when your best players are your hardest workers. You got a chance to be pretty good, and I think that's the case with us this year.
Coach, going back to that GSAC game of the week against William Jessup, you dominate them in the paint 48-28, holding the 34% shooting. Wow, just your thoughts on that game, as big as that game was, especially for seeding and positioning as far as the GSAC is concerned. Go back to that game, and how big was that win, that 12-point victory over William Jessup?
Yeah, it was a big win. Jessup had, obviously a great resume and a lot of big wins, and it's kind of been the front runner in the conference for most of the year. They've been at the front there, so we've been able to kind of hang back and let them have the pressure for most of the year. They're playing without a pretty good player right now in Miles Corey. He may be back for the playoffs. I'm not sure, but so we wanted to really make life hard for Cash Williams, who can just score in a lot of different ways from a lot of different areas. And I thought our guys executed a game plan real well and made him have to work for everything he got. And he got some garbage points at the end to probably hit his average. But I think we frustrated him, and I think we, hence the turnovers and a technical, and just didn't let him get to the spots he normally gets to. And wanted to make some other guys in there, without Corey there, some other guys that don't usually have to create, the kind of play off those guys had to do some things. So I thought we did a real nice job defensively. It wasn't a great offensive game for us. Our decisions on Saturday were much, much better than they were on Thursday, and I think we continue to grow in that area and taking the right shots and no time and score and some of those situational things. But we were really locked in defensively on Thursday night, so that was a really big one that jumped us to the top of the league here with just one game left for us and a couple games for most of the other teams. So it put us in a great spot to kind of. I believe we got a share of the conference title at least and control our own destiny with the game on Saturday. So, big game for us, and proud of the guys how they really competed and truly a game of like defense won that game for us. And it wasn't our prettiest offensive game, but we were hard to score on and got the stops we needed to.
Couple things about that game, Coach. Cash Williams. He was a little bit shortchanged in that game. Defensively, you threw Angelo Johnson at him, the Defensive Player of the Year in the GSAC a year ago. You also threw KeVaughn Williams at him. What did you see in that moment where there was a little pushing and shoving there for just a second, but you could see that ACU brought it, and you mentioned the fact that they kind of frustrated him a little bit. He didn't get his until late. But for a guy that could very well be the GSAC Player of the Year, you slowed him down, no doubt about it, and you got into his dome just a little bit as well.
Yeah, I think having the multiple guys to throw at him. Dennis did a really good job on him. AJ guarded him. Micah guarded him. And then, you mentioned how our success over the last 4 years, KeVaughn Williams has been on all those teams. So that guy's got 100 wins or so, in his career. And he's a competitor, and he doesn't back down from anybody and loves a challenge. So I didn't actually see what happened.
Okay.
I saw it on film afterwards.
A little pushing and shoving there. I didn't see who threw the first shove, but I definitely saw the second one. And so you always see the second one.
Don't you always see the second one? Yeah.
But you've beaten William Jessup 10 straight. So, they didn't have Miles Corey, but they had Miles Corey the previous game. You beat him there in Rockland, and then they had him last year too. So you've got Lance Von Vogt's number right now, which is not an easy thing to do. They've been on the rise for a while now, but 10 straight against William Jessup is solid, Coach.
Yeah, they got a good program, and so any win against them is a good one. I think we're a good matchup for them, just with the quickness at our guards and the depth of our guards is needed to slow down guys like that. And not every, I think the quickness of Williams and Corey really bothers a lot of people in the league and teams they've played nationally, and we've got enough quickness to where we can balance it a little bit. So I think it's a good matchup. Like so much of this game is matchups.
No question.
And so our quickness and their quickness is a good matchup. So it's always a good game when we play each other.
No doubt about it. Your last game you lost was a buzzer beater in Atherton. It was Harrison Bonner, that left wing three, and you guys were able to come back and snap that 4-game slide against Menlo. Over the last couple of seasons, minus COVID, they've battled you guys, and they've also been kind of a matchup challenge, but not this season.
Yeah, well, they were up there. They certainly were up at Menlo.
They shot lights out.
They did. They did. That was a weird game up there. Coach Rooney does a really good job, and they were down a couple guys that were big minutes guys and scores for them. The two guards. So we weren't aware of that going into it. It was kind of weird. It was 49 degrees during our game. They had a giant window open due to COVID and circulation and things. So it was probably about in the low 50s in the gym.
Inside.
So you show up, it's in the 50s, not conducive to, catching and passing and shooting and some of that. and then and you've got a big matchup on Saturday against Jessup. I don't know that our guys were overlooking it, but the temptation would be there. So, and Menlo just popped us in the mouth and really took hold of that game, and we were chasing them the whole time. Finally caught them and didn't finish the way we wanted to finish, and gave them some of those guys some confidence. They shot really well and stole it from us at the end there. So I think our guys were really excited to play them again, and really motivated for that game, which was great. And played really hard, and we got a lot riding on at this point, and so it might have been our best game of the year on both ends of the court, where we were locked in on defense, and I was really pleased with our decision making, the quality of shots we got on the offensive end, which isn't easy to do. Menlo's a very good defensive team, and I felt like pretty much the whole game we got a real high quality shot.
Another high-quality win, too, in the GSAC, 24-3 now in conference play in the last 2 seasons. You guys are loading up. You schedule tough on the outside. You mentioned Loyola Marymount, that loss, and how it propelled you to be prepared for the regular season. And you kind of just buzzsawed this GSAC competition. I'll say that.
It didn't feel that way.
Yeah, right. I know there's some tough games. There's never really an easy out in the GSAC. We talked about at the beginning of the program. It's just a great conference, a ton of competitive fire, and everybody gets it done in the classroom as well. So there's a lot going on in that conference.
Yeah, it's going to make for a great conference tournament. You got, Life and San Diego have been near the bottom in the standings, but San Diego's got some big time wins over Menlo and Masters, and we were lucky to get out of there with a win. And Life gave us a great game the other night. They've really improved since just a month ago, and then they beat Westmont on Saturday in overtime. So top to bottom, you got to be ready, and teams have good coaches, good players, and guys have really improved, and you can see that in some of these scores here in the last couple of weeks.
Sure. Ed, I was going to ask about Bryce Davis and his emergence within your organization, 2-year player. I like to see him elevate and stuff in the ball, and he's really been active on the boards, and he's just given the opposition a ton of fits down low, especially the last 2 weeks. He has just really come on and been a real physical force, playing with a lot of muscle, and he's just been tough to navigate around.
Yeah, Bryce is great. Bryce is he's hard to stop. He's hard to stop both on the block and, he can put it on the floor. He can shoot it. He can score in a lot of different ways. So we were looking at this today. I think he in all of the NEI, I don't know if he's number 1, but he's in the top 5 in terms of getting fouled, getting to the free throw line and creating some fouls there. He can go left, he can go right. He's got some good moves. He's a little unorthodox in some of the stuff he does, and he's just a hard guy to keep in front of you and not make contact with, because he certainly loves the contact and seeking it. So he's just a hard guy to guard.
Is that cradle move around his waist and then going up, using the glass and scoring outside the paint? Is that one of the unorthodox type moves? Because
that is.
He's definitely mastered would be beyond. I don't think mastered is the right word, but he's done a great job with that move.
Yeah, and I think Jed Dunn teaches that at Deer Valley, because KeVaugh's got a little bit of that too.
So, Jeff, this Saturday will be your 10th senior day since being the head coach here. I'm sure that the other 9, they're always emotional because, your young men are moving on and they're moving on to bigger and better things. But against Ottawa, I know you're gonna have a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions on Saturday. Of course, you want to go out and get the victory, get win number 27, which would also increase your season best as far as a program. But your thoughts on senior day and wrapping up the GSAC play before you hit the GSAC championship.
Yeah, every game's a big one, and this will be no different. And we're blessed to be playing on our home court and a chance to win the conference outright, so that makes it a big one. You throw in senior day with a real special group. Chris has been with us for a few years. Darius has been with us for 2 years now. He was a starter last year and battled injuries and things this year, but he's had a great career. Micah, post-grad with us this year and made a big impact in a starting spot here this last year. And then, and Robbie and Xander have been with us for 2 years as well. So, you throw some of those accolades or, some of the things we've done these last few years. Preparing for senior day, I was looking at some of the all-time stats. And so Robbie Wilson has 135 wins in his career between Pima and his time at ACU, and Xander's not far behind in the 125, 126. You're going to have KeVaughn on here later, and he's not not far behind that in success in high school. So I think that's been our, we try to build them up and support them as much as we can, but we've got good guys that are winners that know how to win. And this senior group is one that does that, and I think that's the secret to our success. We got winners out there.
Robbie is less than 30 points away from 1,000 in his career. He also has 500 rebounds to his ledger as well. So I think Mr. Gosen shared with me at the last game, I think there's maybe less than 10 players.
495 of those are below the rim rebounds.
They are. I was asking Robbie about the dunking prowess. We got Bryce Davis getting up there. Obviously, the X-Man can leap out of the gym. We see Marcus Green throwing it down from all places, all angles. The throwdown, the one-handed follow, Coach, was sick. I could say that, right? What was your thought on that? I was another basketball player for you, and you're like, yeah, we recruited these guys. This is my team. Yeah. But, I mean, the guys that are playing above the rim and have a lot of fun. But, Robbie could get there. It's just going to have to be the right situation for him to get one down, right?
I've seen it before.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah. There's no video on it, though, but I have seen it in person.
Less than 10 guys have gone for 1,500, so that's pretty cool. Ottawa, we know about Ottawa. You've already taken care of business at the Faith Center once. You have a chance to go 42-0 against Arizona NAIA competition. You could beat them for the 10th straight time. What am I missing here? But with the way that the schedule lines up, I feel like you've already won the conference. What am I missing? There's some tiebreakers there. There's other games at hand. What needs to happen for you guys to be a top seed in the tournament and getting a bye?
Yeah, we need to win it outright.
Okay.
We can get a share, depending on what Jessup and Hope do. If we don't win on Saturday, I haven't seen all the scenarios. There's a million of them, but I believe we're probably the top seed in the tournament, regardless, just with the tiebreakers.
Would agree.
So, but we want to finish strong. We don't want to, limp into a conference tournament. We want to, we don't want to share anything either. We want to compete for that and
absolutely,
of course,
have a chance to win it. So,
yep.
Ottawa's playing really well. They're among the hottest teams in the country and got a good resume, good enough to get in the national tournament, I think. But they probably feel like they're, need another signature win to get in. So they've improved quite a bit since we've played, but so have we. I look back and watch film. Dennis didn't really play in that game. He had an injury, and a couple other guys didn't play in that game, and Micah wasn't the same in terms of his comfort with our system and what we're expecting as he is now. So we've improved quite a bit too. So it'll be a good game against two real hot teams, and should be a fun one.
Be a lot of fun. You're seeking your 8th NAIA National Championship appearance, so a lot riding on Saturday. We're going to take a break. Coach, thank you so much for your time here. Happy Valentine's Day to you and your lovely wife and your children. You guys enjoy the rest of the evening.
All right. Appreciate the Valentine's history lesson.
Put another log on the fire, Coach. Maybe you can't have a fire. I don't know. There was some news.
Turn the gas up.
There's some news you can use right there, right?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You probably. I'm guessing, head coach. You got that just magnificent display.
Go wow my wife when I get home with my knowledge of Valentine's Day.
All right, let's talk a little round ball with the fellas. KeVaughn Williams is here, and Dennis Flores III, I think, is also with us here. So we'll talk some more basketball straight ahead. It's the Storm Report for the 14th day of 2022. Don't go away. More basketball right after this. Welcome back to the Valentine's Day edition of the Storm Report right here on campus from the Tower Grill at Arizona Christian University. Joining us on the set, KeVaughn Williams, the pride of Deer Valley High School and the pride of one time Carroll. He's now ACU Firestorm. That is Dennis Flores, the third DF34. That number he wears is number 4. Dennis, welcome in, and KeVaughn, welcome. Appreciate having you guys here.
Pleasure to be here.
Let's get to it. You guys are right now just on cruise control in the GSAC conference. Winners of 9 straight. Just took care of business over Menlo on Saturday inside a really packed gym in the event center. What's your thoughts on how the team's playing right now, and are you enjoying this ride?
Yeah, I think we're in a good groove right now. A lot of stuff's clicking. System is going pretty well, and I think we trust each other as most of we've been all year, and kind of just going what Coach Rutter says, and it's working.
Hey, DF, real quick one for you. What's it like when you go to the website and you see your picture right there and you're like, that's me.
That's pretty cool.
I'm doing some things.
No, yeah, it feels pretty good. It feels official.
You transferred from Carroll. You played for the Saints a year ago. You had a chance to play your old team earlier this season. ACU came with a walk-off win, as I like to say. It was Angelo Johnson getting it done, a buzzer beater there, maybe a couple of ticks left, but you had that taste to beat your old school. Are you settled in now? And it seems like we know that you're clamping down defensively. Are you feeling comfortable now with the Firestorm?
Oh yeah, but even before that, I was settling in, so it was great to get that win. I know they were talking mess to me, and I wasn't gonna hear the end of it. I know a couple of those guys still, so it was great to get that win and start off our season right.
D. Flowers, we talked to Coach about how you're locking in defensively, especially during this 9-game run that you guys are on. What is it about it when you guys are in practice? You're kind of saying, okay, we got to do this defensively. We got to shut these teams down. We got to shut down a William Jessup, hold them to 34% shooting. We got to shut down a Menlo, beat them by nearly 30 points. Do you guys take pride in playing solid defense and shutting teams down?
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of guys in practice like. Our bench guys can come and start for us, so we play against great competition every night in practice. So practice makes the games easy, and when we're rolling like this, it really shows. So, guarding guys in practice and trying to lock up in practice is where it starts. So.
Well, Kev, that's why they're 26-3 because they get it done on the practice court.
They definitely practice, and we go back to that tough, smart, unselfish. That's the mantra. That's what these guys believe in, and it's definitely something that they build around. And
Absolutely.
You can see the results on the court, no doubt about it. Key, my question for you, I've seen you play from high school as a freshman through now. We're talking almost a decade. So I've been pretty stoked to watch your game and watch you grow and develop as a player. And there's nothing you can't do on the court right now. We see what you do when you come in. I asked Coach Rutter to tell us what happened with Cash Williams on Thursday night. Break that down for us. We only saw the last little push, but you got under his skin. You were playing lockdown, clamp down D and one of the top players in the conference, and you took him out of his game. What was going on there?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Rutter always said I got like a little Pat Bev mentality, get under players' skins, make them not feel comfortable. I knew he was a great scorer. He leads the nation in one-on-ones. I just wanted him to make sure he felt me all night. I gave him a little friendly bump on the way to the scorer's table, and he didn't like it.
He didn't care for that, huh?
Yeah, he didn't like it, so I reacted with a little stronger one and got the double tech. I think I threw him off his game. 2 points first half. Finished with, 6 turnovers. You know what I'm saying? We guarded them well, so yeah, we're not a team to be pushed over. So
yeah, no, definitely.
He was chirping the whole night. Dennis, you pick it up too, because I know you defended him at some point as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. No, he likes to go at it. I've known him. I played against him in high school, so I know he likes to talk trash and it's pretty intense. So I was excited for that matchup. And Key's one of our best defenders, if not our best defender. So I know he's going to have an off night, whoever is on him. So it's tough.
Key, did it feel like a playoff atmosphere going against the number 4 team in the country and them coming into your building and, as you mentioned, all the trash talking and just how big that game was for you as a team?
Yeah, we never say one game is bigger than the other. We always say the next game is the most important game. But yeah, definitely going in there, the crowd was hype. We had a little whiteout, a lot of people in there. I know they had some good fans in there as well. So yeah, it was definitely a good atmosphere. It was good to get a crowd what they wanted to see.
And that's a good game to get you. It's kind of a barometer as you get ready to head toward the championship game to face, again, a top 5 team in the country this close toward you guys going to the second season. That's really good.
Yeah, it's great to have those top matchup games early, get that feel for, take some adversity, take some punches in the mouth, being able to still come together and play.
Key, you played 114 games in ACU. Your next will be 115. The last 4 years, 100 wins, 23 losses. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been blessed with my teammates. First year coming in, I was with Cal and Shane, Terrence, all those guys. Cal had left us. We got some guys coming in, and then after that, just kept getting more guys, kept growing stronger together. Robbie came in, Xander came in, added Darius, Dennis. So it's been very, very fortunate to have the teammates I have.
Bryce Davis, one of those guys that we're going to talk to down the road, but he's really his game is coming on. He's surging at the right time. But did you cross up with Bryce at Deer Valley, or did you guys miss? Did you play together?
No, we played there all 4 years.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I was going to say, I thought you did, and I wasn't sure if I had my numbers correctly, at least the time. But what is it about Coach Dunn? I'm a big believer of Jed Dunn. He gets kids ready to play at the next level. He's a great coach. His teams always win. But what is it about Coach Dunn that some things that you could take away from him and the experience playing basketball for Deer Valley?
I feel like just his grit right away, like you're hanging out with him or you're even playing with him still. He's playing every Sunday morning, stuff like that. Like his grit to want to win. He's a competitor, and he's deeper than a coach with everyone he's ever encountered. So he's been a father figure to me since I was in about the 6th, 7th grade, going to Highland Lakes, and then ended up going to Deer Valley. So very blessed to have him in my life.
No doubt about it. He's one of the good guys.
So D Flowers, 29 games into this thing. How are you seeing yourself grow through 29 starts? I know it's had been a little bit of a pressure. You coming from Chicago and trying to get used to a new system, coming to Arizona and oh my gosh, I've got so I'm going to be starting for this team. How do I get prepared for a new team, new system, new head coach, new philosophy, new mentality, new culture?
Yeah.
Did it take you a little while to get used to it? Are you still kind of getting used to it 29 games into it?
Yeah, I think you can see it in my numbers, especially offensively. I was shooting probably about 38%, 37% from the field, and over a 6-game stretch, it was high 40s, high 50s, and so I got it up to about 45% now shooting from the field, and and Coach Rutter always talks to me about getting better shots. He knows I can hit tough ones, but you want to get the best look you can and ones that you hit at a high percentage. So the tough ones, you're not going to hit those at a high percentage. So just buying into that, I feel like, and just how Coach Rutter likes to coach and how we like to play. I knew I wanted to come here because I liked how they fast-paced, run up and down, get the ball out quickly up and down the floor, and we pick up full court and things like that. And I knew it would translate to my game, so having a rough start early really didn't faze me. My mom preaches staying mentally tough and stuff like that, so got to make her proud.
Of course. What have you learned from your brother right to your right?
He's one of the most fearless competitors in the program, in the school, for sure in the conference. Playing against him every day just makes me better. Like you said, he locked up Cash, who's averaging 20. So imagine, me going out him in practice and trying to get a bucket on him. It's just how much better it's making me. And same thing with him. I know he's a great point guard for us and great facilitator and makes the right reads all the time. So just trying to stop him, I feel like iron sharpens iron. So,
Dennis, to ask you about going back a couple of years when you're playing in the Frontier Conference for Carroll. Freshman of the year in the Frontier just a couple of years back, so it wasn't too long ago that you're having that kind of success early on in your career. But I want to talk about the step back, Jay, because you talk about some of your shots and what you can do, but we've seen over the last couple of months at the home games, you've got the sharp shooting down, and you've got the wiggles and the shake and bake, and then the step back is what I see is pretty deadly right now. Where did you learn how to do that? And is there any kind of a professional college or NBA influence that help you arrive at that deadly step back shot?
Honestly, just grinding it out every day with my dad. Early mornings, late nights, just in the gym, repeatedly repping things out, and that's a great rhythm shot for me. I know me and my dad always talk about getting rhythm shots when I'm not having a good one. So that step back, it might look tough, but if you work on it enough, it becomes rhythm. So definitely him. I credit him. And then Olin Simplest, I've been working out with him a little bit over the summer, who trains a lot of NBA guys. And, you know, when you're around that type of playing against pickup and against, you know, pros every day, and you pick up some things. So,
right.
Yeah.
That's not a simple shot, but I think it's part of your repertoire. It's just routine for you now. It's coming, and you're knocking down a lot of them. So, and how about that? Who would know that Pops at home would help him get to that next level? So, congratulations to you and spending that time with your dad. That's too cool.
Appreciate it.
So, Key, I want to go back to 2 years ago. I think you remember this night in Santa Barbara. You got the inbounds pass to Xander Bowers, and you guys won the GSAC championship. Do you still recall that? Do you still kind of think about that?
For sure, all the time. We were just we went up to Westmont a little while ago, and Coach Rutter had me and Xander like redo the play. He recorded it, just me and him. Yeah, like reenact it type of thing. Send it to the old guys. But yeah, for sure, go down memory lane in my camera roll sometimes, see the video, and just feels great bringing the first GSAC championship, like tournament championship, to ACU.
That had to have been crazy that night.
Yeah, it was crazy. Water was going everywhere in the locker room. It was wild.
First ever in program history, so that definitely was it was quite a moment. Key, a couple more numbers, right? You know, I got the numbers for you. 16 boards to 200, 16 rebounds to 200 in your career. You're trying to catch Robbie. He's got 500, but still, the idea that a point guard, you go in there and you mix it up, and you box guys out, you defend well. But at 16 to 200 there, you need 4 more dimes to reach 225. So that could be next game. Who knows? 54 steals in your career. I think that you might take a lot of pride in that. 54 steals in your 114 games. That's a lot of takeaways, man.
Yeah, for sure. Coach Rutter always preaches just making the easy stuff for them not easy no more. Just pressuring, take stuff away, knowing your scout, like knowing what they want to do and just taking it away from them, making them uncomfortable.
For a guy that comes off the bench as part of the stunt team that I like to refer to, 291 career points, you need 9 more to 300. You've done all this, and you're winning, getting a degree at the same time, and building relationships with people, and developing a relationship with Christ. It's got to be a pretty amazing feeling for you.
Yeah, for sure. It's a blessing coming here. I know Coach Cole was a big part of me coming here in the first place, and I've grown every day with my guys, professors here. I've made a lot of good relationships, and just happy to be here for sure.
So, Kevin, looking at D. Flowers' bio, it says he wants to play basketball professionally and be a sports analyst. So he wants to be in our ranks. He wants to do what we do.
His major is communication. And
that was my major in college.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to say, he's got a nice, eloquent voice. It's smooth. It's silky. Yeah. I think it's okay.
D. Flowers, you like that coming from a professional?
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I think I have a personality for it to be on the radio, you know, make a name for myself, just be a brand.
What do the fellows call you?
Me?
D? Do you have a nickname?
Dennis Slaver.
Den. Den. That's pretty unique.
I try to make D3 stick, but nobody really.
I ain't never
Nobody
heard
took
that.
that?
I ain't never heard that.
They didn't like that, Keith?
If you were number 3, you wear 4. Why do you wear 4?
You know, they.
Is that what they?
He got stuck.
Is that what
with
they
that
issued?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was either 5 or 4. I was like,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Duran wore 5, and, you know, I called him DK5 quite a bit. I can't get that DF3-4. There's no flow to that. But DF3, like Key for 3. Key hit another 3-pointer, by the way.
Vaughn.
How many of those do you have? 13 of those in your career. So I'll just keep you up to date on the numbers. Not that you care. You're going to delegate the love for your players, and deservedly so. That's cool. But yeah.
Hey, Key. So who's the DJ? Who's the hype man in the locker room as you guys get ready for games? Who's the dude that's got the iPhone that hooks up the Bluetooth and that's got the cuts rolling for you?
You know, me or Dennis probably got the most little flavor. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Get the guys going.
What's the flavor?
What's the playlist? What you rolling with?
We'll rock some Lil Baby in there.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Some
Gotta get Gunna in there.
he loved Gunna and Rod Wave, some G Herbo or something. Yeah,
For sure.
We're getting the look here. My last one for you. It's Valentine's Day, guys. So I'm sure that you had to make a few phone calls and say, babe, it's going to be a little while, but we're going to go do some other things. For as far back as you can remember, your favorite slow song or your go-to song at that school dance or the prom or wherever it was, take me back a little bit. What's your favorite slow tune? For that special one.
I'm waiting on you.
I would say it's a song by New Edition. I'm not.
Any song is great.
You feel me? Like,
Oh, come on.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Any Jodeci.
Talk to me.
You got
Intro.
you know any names of the songs?
I don't. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what I've been rocking with?
What?
So I got a girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah, he
About
do
about 3 years.
3 years.
Oh,
now.
nice.
That's heavy.
Nice, Key.
Luke Combs, Beautiful Crazy.
Okay, I got it. I heard that today.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good song.
That works pretty good.
That's a hit for sure.
Absolutely.
And I don't even be into the little country vibes, but I can mess with that.
You could do that, huh?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Coach Rutter, I asked him the same question, and he went with. He agreed with me that we went like with Journey track, like Faithfully or Open Arms, something like that. You know, and not quite hip hop. It's like old school rock and roll. That's going to do it for Dennis Flowers III, the pride of Chicago, Illinois, and my guy next to me, KeVaughn Williams. Two outstanding players getting it done. These guys got unfinished business as they take on the Ottawa Spirit come Saturday. Pack it in. There's going to be limited seating for everybody. So make sure you get a seat. Let's pack the event center on Saturday. We'll see these guys tip it up one more time on Senior Day. What is that? Is that it for you, Key? Or are you coming back?
Nah, I'll be back. I got another year.
Man, another year.
Yeah.
This guy's going to break all the records. This is fantastic. We're going to talk a little volleyball. Don't go away. Coach Bruns on the set right after this. Welcome back to the Storm Report inside the Tower Grill. I'm Kevin Derryberry along with Ed Cole. Trent Bruns joins us as we talk a little volleyball. Special thank you to the fellas who just left the set. But it's Valentine's Day, Coach. You're able to free up a little bit, huh?
Yeah, my wife's volunteering at church. She works in the coffee shop, so it ended up working out good.
It's all about timing. Your first year at ACU, how are things going for you?
Oh, it's good, man. I mean, I like it here. Great campus. It's fun recruiting, walking people around campus. It's super rad. Lovely grass. You know, you see a lot of turf in Arizona, so we got it in my front yard, so we see grass.
Natural grass.
Automatically appealing.
You like the smell of fresh cut grass?
Yeah, I just don't like the chore, you know.
Yeah.
We got a turf at my house, so man, I don't got to do anything with it.
That works pretty good. There's, life has some privileges to it, and that's one of them right there.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So you're not averse to this program, Coach. You were back here in 2021. You were a volunteer assistant. So what made you want to come back? Was it just the opportunity was there, the right time that it was like, okay, it's time to come back here? Of course, the head coaching jobs, there's only a certain amount of them, and they only come open so often. So was it just the timing, the opportunity, and you're like, okay, I got to strike on this?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much just timing. Like, I had a good relationship with the prior coach, Chuck Hunter. He was just kind of at a place in his life where he was looking to step away, and the door just kind of opened, and I just stepped through it. So luckily it worked out. Everything's kind of very in-house for me here. Keith Baker was my athletic director when I played at GCU, and there's a Micah Briscoe was my teammate. So a lot of stuff's kind of just in-house for me, and yeah, we just happened to work out.
Isn't it funny how the stars align in life?
Yeah, they do.
So GCU, I know Coach, I refer to him as Coach. We call everybody Coach here, but Keith Baker did a little PA for us, so shout out to Keith. Thank you for filling in for Derek Mason inside the event center this past weekend. And so Keith Baker, good dude.
Yeah.
Grand Canyon University, he spent a lot of time there.
Yeah, 4 years, and then I got my master's there too, so I was doing a graduate assistant position as well. So I ended up graduated in 2013 and then coaching with them from 2014 to 2016. So a little bit of time.
1,331 digs
Yeah.
The
a lot of digs.
GCU all-time record right there. That's getting dirty.
Yeah.
That's getting it done, Coach.
Yeah. I mean, I try, man. I try.
It's kind of cool that you've got that still hanging in the balance there. I'm sure it's way past tense for you. Moved on to bigger and better things, but it's kids love numbers, right? So you get to say, hey, that coach is, he's still in the record book over there, and there's a lot to learn from this man.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've done so far like a good job, just like letting the guys know, like I trust them at the end of the day, and here's my knowledge, and it's up to you guys whether you want to use it or not. So a big part of the recruiting process and just with these guys is I just label it straight out front. Here's what the expectations are. And ultimately, I want you guys to come out of here as good athletes, but also as better men. Because, winning, it's a character trait you have to learn, and
Sure.
these guys have kind of come around to that. So I don't know. I don't think they ever really knew that. I ended up on they have a whole team Snapchat or something like that. And one of my players is doing some kind of presentation on me. And I always had funny, especially junior and senior, I had funny photos.
Okay.
So they found that's where they ended up finding that record stuff. But I had a curled mustache or my senior photos.
I went back to your
good.
Twitter account, which was, I think you last tweeted somewhere around 2015. But
never
a
got
pretty
it.
stoic shot there. I think you had more facial hair there. Maybe a beard, perhaps.
It grows a lot. I'm like a chia pet.
Yeah.
So it just keeps coming.
You don't like to mix in a shave? How's that work? Not everybody likes to shave.
It's a hassle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen my upper lip since 2010. So
Okay.
Yeah, neither my wife. My wife hasn't seen me either. So
No shave, what is that? No shave Movember? Something like that?
yeah,
Movember. Yep.
but I don't do that either.
You
You
don't
got to
participate.
shave it clean. I just don't do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of your talent on your team. Paul Dozman is one of those guys that gets it done.
Yeah.
Just to talk about some of your athletes or elaborate on a few of your student athletes and how you guys are adjusting to a loss to Benedictine, number 6 in the country. You guys battled. I look and see how you guys competed, and you did just that. You competed.
Yeah, a part of building the winning culture so far has been coming in, and every day I say, hey, you guys are here at 2:30, we're playing at 3:15, and they practice that prep every single day pretty much. And Benedictine stings. I think I don't know if it stings more as a coach or if it stung more as a player, but there was just so many missed opportunities there that were we were up, for example, in the second set, we're up 15-8 and lost 26-24. So looking back at that, I think we have a pretty good mentality, but just execution also needs to be there. But yeah,
finishing.
Finishing, man, just putting it away. So hopefully when it comes to Ottawa, I tell them, hey, we're going to be in scenarios where it's 23-all. We got to be able to compete. We got to be able to execute at the end of the day. But yeah, we have a lot of good players. A lot of guys have played together for a while now. So Paul Dozman, Nate Mayfield, Cade, Wesley, they've all been together for a good chunk of time now. So getting them to play together, better and to trust each other is a big thing that we've been working on in our squad. Hey, if you call ball seams left and I'm not going to reach to my right, that is your ball and I will trust you with that. So then when it's 23-all, we know exactly what to do. We know exactly how to operate. But so far, we just need to kind of tighten those things up. But we got a great bunch of guys in there. All of them are ready, willing to compete. I think also coming off of, COVID year, they kind of had some funky years and then really feeling like they have a chance. They're all ready to get after it. So.
Would you say ball seems right?
Yeah. So
is that some on-court vernacular, on-court communication?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much in service eve, that was my job as a libero. So if there's a jump serve coming in, usually it tails from your left to your right. So it's a lot easier to pass the ball when it's coming to you. So I would kind of say, if we were all in service eve, anything past this line is yours, and I'm not going to touch it.
Okay.
So you communicate all that stuff before the play happens.
Gotcha.
So that way you're kind of on the same page.
There's a lot more to it than blocks and digs and aces, huh, Kev?
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
It's pretty sophisticated now. You need a ton of athleticism, great guys that are teaching the game, and then it's up to the student athletes to go out there and execute.
Yep. At the end of the day, I mean, we got a lot of athletes on our team. We got 6 guys who can dunk, can throw down, So, and I think when I was at GC, it's a tall sport. We were always averaged higher a higher average height than the basketball team. So it's a pretty big sport.
A lot of bounce in the gym, huh?
Yeah, got a good amount of bounce. So.
Yeah. Coach, you've got a kind of a young team. You've got quite a few freshmen. Are they being like sponges right now? Are they kind of learning you and you're learning them at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, like everyone. When you come in, you're 18. You don't exactly know how to function, how to get it done, right? So
Yes.
yeah, they're doing good. They're doing good. They're coming in there ready to work. And for us, we don't do any like, oh, freshmen set up the nets or anything like that. It's like, no, you guys all come in here and you guys all lead by example. So, but we have all those guys too. Like there's a lot of freshmen who they get there even earlier, so they're leading by example too. So super solid.
There's no hazing in volleyball that we can speak of, right?
No.
That's ridiculous.
Nah, we don't do that.
The freshmen get the nets. I know in a lot of their sports, there is some of that kind of stuff
Yeah.
going on. Hey, freshmen, you get all the bags, and don't forget pick up donuts, and we'll see you on the field.
See you on the field, on the bus.
But not in volleyball.
No, we ain't like that.
We don't condone
ain't
that
like
nonsense.
Yeah, no, we're all about character.
So the GSAC conference is loaded.
Yeah.
For you to compete against.
Yeah.
We've talked about it here on this program a couple different times. It doesn't matter what the sport it is, but the GSAC, they're going to bring it. They're going to have a lot of very difficult opponents. How do you embrace the challenge coming up?
Yeah, no, we had Ottawa on Wednesday. Ottawa put a spanking on Benedictine. So they are a team that has a lot of power, but
Number 9 in the country currently.
Yeah, and they're all predictable though too. So I watch film, we watch game film, we say, hey, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we stick to it. And if they start doing something different that's outside of the character, we'll make mid-game adjustments. So we do have a lot of teams, in our conference that are well. But with volleyball, there's like 60, 70,000 people who play it in high school for boys. And then there's only like 200 opportunities in college. So you have a very, very small market, so talent gets very kind of spread throughout, and the volleyball talent's really, really good. And being at California is like the hub of volleyball, the Masters, Vanguard, all those, they have a lot of guys who just stay home, stay local, and compete and do well. So we can definitely compete with them, and we do have chances to win each and every single game. It just comes down to, are we ready to compete, and can we execute the game plan? So
the only thing they have on the Arizona setup is that Southern California vibe.
Yeah.
From a volleyball perspective.
Yeah,
right?
we got
Beach.
cacti.
Yeah. I know. But it's just that's one of the big differences. I imagine that's a challenge recruiting that, recruiting against those type of student athletes.
Yeah, I mean, it is and it isn't. Everyone's looking for something different. So
And it's
just
always a
about getting
fit
out there.
too, right?
Yeah.
It's just a fit for
Yeah.
one person or not.
Yeah, I mean, we signed a guy from Colorado. So he came down here, visited Benedictine, wasn't as big of a fan because he didn't have as much of a campus as we did. He's a great guy. He actually used to be a gymnast, so he jumps really, really well. He's only about 6 foot. But yeah, so we got a good campus over here, and yeah, it's pretty easy to. I don't say it's easy to recruit, but as long as you put your foot forward and put your best hand there, they'll reach out. So.
That's what I was going to ask you, Coach. With all the growth here on this university, I'm sure that's a major selling point for you when you've got recruits coming in like, hey, look, we're building this. We're putting up poles. We're getting ready to put up poles for our football field. We've got this coming up, and we've got all this construction going on that ACU is going to be a thriving university, a thriving business. So that's got to be like, okay, you should jump in and be a part of this because some special things are happening here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, when I went to GCU, I think there was one dorm when it was first there, right? Now, ACU ain't grown to what GCU is like, but it's just being a part of that growth process is a fun thing. So we can kind of sell that with the program and with the guys that we have coming in. Yeah, it's super rad. Yeah.
Coach, what do you attribute the major rise and the growth of men's and women's volleyball? Like it seems like it has just skyrocketed in the last decade. What do you attribute that to?
I mean, programs come and go. Stanford, they actually stopped their men's volleyball program, and then people petitioned and ended up getting it back. So it's kind of growing. It used to kind of just be more West Coast, but it's kind of, they have these tournaments out there called Grow the Game now. So in Texas, for example, where boys volleyball is not as big, football, baseball, kind of the main sports over there, they take like teams like Hawaii, GCU, and they go host a tournament out there and try and expose it. So they do a few of those each year.
Okay.
But it's just been kind of slowly growing. It used to kind of be just West Coast and East Coast, and then there's the Midwest that's growing. So the Midwest has a huge volleyball presence. So it's just slowly starting to spread out. It's just kind of been more like centralized areas so far, but it's getting a lot of exposure.
Do you think it's the Olympics? Do you, when we see it at the Olympics, is it ESPN? Is it TV coverage?
I mean,
everyone we see, they're all incredible athletes. You talk about balance and jumping out of the gym. The athleticism kind of runneth over with some of the athletes we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and sometimes, too, it's like we have a lot of guys that maybe played basketball up until their junior year, and then they found volleyball and they just kind of fall in love with it. So I feel like there's just also that vibe of it out here too in Arizona, where basketball, maybe football, they kind of play their sport and they jump on volleyball and they say, this is fun. And then they kind of just stick with it, and the sport just kind of slowly grows. So, I mean, social media's got to help, Olympics has got to help, but I know they do a lot of stuff intentionally to try and grow the game too.
Are there certain styles to the game? We talk about tempo and basketball and pace,
Yeah.
and Dennis Flowers III mentioned I like the way that Coach Rutter teaches the game. I like the way that they play the game. I'm a good fit for that style. Do you kind of sell that as far as in your recruiting? Do you have a tempo? Is there a style of play, or is it all the same?
Yeah, it's definitely not all the same.
Okay.
So, for example, Ottawa, they have a guy named Jordan Moses, and he, during Benedictine, they had 4 sets. He had 35% of their offense. So he's a guy they go to a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some things like that, but there also is like tempo style volleyball. It's like how fast do you set your go ball? Is it really quick? Is it not that quick? So there's called like a West Coast side of it, but it comes down to what tools you have, right? So
Sure.
if we could be good at running our offense faster, usually we would, and just we got to make sure we are successful at the end of the day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How much do you adapt to the opponent that you're facing, your style and your approach to them?
Yeah. I mean, every guy that's blocking, they kind of have the guy they're watching. So some teams are effective in certain categories, so we'll just put more emphasis on that guy. But outside of that, it comes down to how well you can serve and pass too. It's just the basics, you know. It's like picture doing like an open layup versus like having to do a contested fadeaway, right? So it's just how well can you control those minor aspects of the game. It actually opens up a lot. So we adjust a little bit, but not a whole bunch. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Coach, Ottawa is next. You mentioned them just a minute, but the rivalry that is the Crosstowners,
Yeah.
the spirit from Ottawa,
Yeah.
amazing facilities that they have. We're working on our facilities. You play in the gym right next door at the old Y. But what does that match mean? I know the coach talk is it's just another match, just another conference matchup, but it really isn't. It's Ottawa, and we're talking about the strategic way to handle the ticket sales for the basketball game. It's not just any other match. What does this mean to you here coming up, and how will you guys prepare?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing how we come out and compete and then also execute this tournament. We've been working on some plays that we kind of formulated that we have kind of been bad at. But also I've noticed a lot of teams in our conference aren't very good at it. So that's something that we can execute on. It's something that the other teams have to worry about too. So I'm looking forward to seeing how well they always get super excited at home games, right? You can start way up here. It's like, what can we sustain throughout at the end of the day? So I'm looking forward to watching them come out hot. I guarantee you they will. They'll be excited about it. But I just want to see how well we can just prepare and finish out all the way through. So I'm excited.
Coach, as important as wins are in your program, you're also the academic tutoring services coordinator, so academics is a huge part of it as well.
Yeah.
How do you balance that out with being an academic tutoring services coordinator and the head coach of a volleyball team?
Systems. Yeah. So thanks to my dad, I work a lot with this program called Access that kind of just you basically export stuff and then it spits it out for you. So I pull data reports on Fridays, but mainly just a lot of emails, communication, just talking. So just try and build myself a really good schedule at the end of the day. So like today when I showed up, I had already kind of finished a lot and did a lot of recruiting this morning. So just a lot of balance, but yeah, manageable. So yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal? No? You get that one?
Jake Gyllenhaal, I haven't got that
With
one.
the stash?
No.
It's coming.
It's
to
got to
me,
be the
Coach.
hair with the Jake Gyllenhaal one because I'm growing it back out again.
Okay.
At least that's the plan.
I'd ask you about Chuck Hunter, but I know these guys were out of time. I don't know who got long on this program. They're trying to tell me I was all this Valentine's Day knowledge I was pouring out. I was educating the viewers. But
That was a great segment, though, Kevin.
I believe it was.
Yeah, it was a great teaching moment.
Yeah, so as we close out with Mr. Bruns, Coach, if you can go back and just play along with us a little bit.
Okay, ready.
Your most favorite slow song growing up in the day, whether it was your wife, your previous girlfriend, whatever it was, you're at school, you're at the prom, you're looking across the cafeteria, and that song is going, and you're like, okay, I got to go talk to Nikki, and we're going to give this a try. You remember the song? You have one that you can share with us. Hey, forget the Nikki part.
Yeah, what was your favorite song?
I mean,
you too. What'd you
I
dance to at your wedding?
Yeah, we did Elvis Presley, Can't Help Falling in Love with You.
Oh, that's solid.
Yeah.
That's right up
yeah,
there.
kind of like the old school vibes. We like that a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, we didn't have that in high school, but close.
That's all I got. That's all I have.
Yeah.
That's where we're gonna drop the mic to right there, Coach Bruns.
Yep.
There you go.
Very good.
Cool.
We want to thank all of our guests on the Storm Report for episode 17, the 14th day. It's our Valentine's Day edition. We want to thank head coach Jeff Rutter. We'd like to thank Dennis Flowers III, KeVaughn Williams, and, of course, this guy to our left, Trent Bruns. We'd always want to thank Tim Gosen and Robert Nielsen. For my broadcast partner, Ed Cole, I'm Kevin Derryberry. It has been the Storm Report for February 14th, 2022. Until next time, so long for now. We'll see you at baseball tomorrow night. Joe Max Club, 6 p.m. from Canyon View. Embry Riddle in the house. Basketball on Saturday. When's your next volleyball match? Tell me. Wednesday.
This Wednesday,
Ottawa.
6 p.m. Ottawa, at home.
Ottawa, inside the event center. No, next door at YMCA. Get it right. See you next time. Thank you.